Good morning, everybody. Welcome to True Crime Files. Today I'm your host. I've got so many bits and pieces I want to do today, and it's just disturbing. That's the way to put it. And that a group of boys as young as 13 have been convicted for raping girls 14 and 15 in separate attacks. I don't know why boys do this. It must be down to hormones when they get to a certain age that makes them experiment and do these horrible things. I do feel sorry for the girls because they're going to have a lifetime of history of trying to get over what happened to them, and it's always going to be there. They might not think about it every single day, but it's going to be at the back of their minds every single day. There's no video news release on this, so I'm going to have to read it, and you're going to have to put up with my dyslexia because often enough I see a word and it doesn't come out the way it's meant to be. And sometimes when I speak, I know what I want to say, but the wrong words come out or they don't come out properly. So I'll try my best again, and hopefully my voice stays with me. I'll just have a quick drink of water first. Right. 3 teenage boys today have been convicted of knife point rape and other serious offences of 2 teenage girls in Hampshire, UK. The defendants were aged 13, 14, and 14 at the time of the offences. Because of their age, they could not be named for legal reasons, which I think that's, not that shouldn't be the case. You've done your crime, you got to do the time, name and shame them. That's my motto. I might be a bit old fashioned, but I'd name them, shame them, and all sorts of things. A court heard today that the victims aged 14 and 15 were attacked in separate incidents less than 2 months apart and were physically overpowered. The girls did not know one another. January 2025, the offence in January 2025, a 14-year-old girl was assaulted after becoming separated from her friends. She was threatened with a knife and forced to leave a mobile phone and AirTag in a shop so that her movements could not be tracked before being taken to a secluded area. Obviously, we don't know the girl's situation, I certainly would try not to be forced to leave my phone and AirTag in the shop. Surely the girl must have realised that it wasn't going to end good, and there must have been a reason why she was asked to leave her phone in a shop. The two defendants took it in turns to grape the victim, while others encouraged the offending and filmed the assaults. Well, that just takes it to a whole nother level. When they film it, ugh. The defendants left the scene. They believed they had been disturbed. The victim was later found very distressed and she reported the incident to the police. Well done to her. And I'm glad the girl came forward and had the courage and the strength to report the incident. So well done on her. And forensics evidence supported the victim's account, including damage to her trousers consistent with the use of a sharp instrument. November 2024, the investigation later identified a second victim who was aged 15 and was raped in November 24 by two of the same defendants, both aged 14 at the time. The court heard the victim had met one of the defendants online and travelled alone to meet him. They were later joined by another boy and taken to an underpass where she was raped by both of them. Teenagers need to have some common sense, in my opinion. You don't travel alone to meet somebody. It might be because I'm older and cautious, but when I've been on dates, I've always met them in a public place like a coffee shop. And if I think there's anything to concern about, I won't meet that person again. So all my dating things have been in my local coffee shop. When I walk in there, they must think, "Oh no, here Kathy comes again," because each time they see me, I was with another guy. But those guys, only one guy turned out to be good till he sadly passed away suddenly. The girls were forced into sexual activity by the boys who brazenly filmed and deeply distressing incidents. After speaking with the victims in the case review an extensive file of evidence, it was the Crown Prosecution Service that these girls were violated and could not have consented to these terrifying encounters. The CPS worked closely with Hampshire and the Isle of Wight Constabulary to support the victims and other young witnesses to give their evidence, and we recommend them for their courage that they showed throughout the trial. It must have been harrowing for the girls to go through the trial if they were done by video link or they had to sit in the same court with the person. Our lawyers will work tirelessly to pursue justice for the victims, and we will continue to hold those responsible for crimes of this devastating nature to account, regardless of their age. Well, that's good, because I've heard some people doing sort of like essay assaults on children as young as 8 and 9 years old, and they need to be accounted. So, following a 5-week trial at Southampton Crown Court, 3 defendants were convicted on the 5th of March in 2026. So they were only convicted yesterday. 5-week trial for that seems a very long time. And I watch trials on YouTube, and I'm sure this one of these teenagers must have been just as a lot of evidence and defending and all sorts for it to go on for 5 weeks. Anyway, boy A from Hampshire, who was 14 at the time of the offence but is now 15, was convicted of 2 counts of rape and 1 account of taking indecent images of a child. Boy B from Dorset, who was 14 at the time of the offence but is now 15, was convicted of 6 accounts of rape. He pleaded guilty to 4 accounts of taking indecent images of a child. Boy C from Hampshire, who was 13 at the time of the offences but is now 14, was convicted of 2 accounts of rape. They will be sentenced at a later date. So when I hear when they're sentenced, I will come back and give an update to everybody, because there's no point in doing half of the news and not following the rest up. Right. As always, if you could like and share my video content, I would really appreciate it. I'm new to this. I've only been doing this for like 2 weeks now, and my confidence has built up, and it is building up slowly each time. If you'd like to leave me a comment, whether what you think of this topic, or just to say where you live, I reply to every single comment. And it doesn't matter if you just say hello, and I'll say hi, how are you? And by liking and sharing it, it helps me to get in the algorithms. Before I can get longer things to do with like video shorts and things, I need 1,000 subscribers. 1,000. And when I last looked, I think it was this morning, I was on 28 subscribers. So if you could subscribe, like, and comment, I would really appreciate that. If you want to buy me a coffee as well, which helps me to get through all the time I spend on the computer, I think the lowest I set it was $3, but that's less than £3 in UK money. I've messaged the buy me a coffee company because I can't change it from dollars to pounds. So at the moment, it's all set in dollars. So if you're in America, it's fine for you because, it's already set at your currency. But if you're in the UK, it's $3. So do a Google search, convert $3 to UK sterling, and see how much it's going to cost. I've set it low. I know some other YouTubers have set buy me a coffee at £5, and then that's not right. That's not right at all. So yeah, so I do appreciate you all taking time to watch me and that for these items that I do. So thank you again in advance, and I'll see you on the next one.